Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at more Am I Wrong stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. So I recently got together with a guy from my hobby. He asked me out first and I had some doubts that we'd work together as a couple because of the age difference. He's 35 and I'm 22. So in my apartment, since it's an old house that was originally a single family house, there isn't much soundproofing and the floors creak when people move. I've gotten used to the sound of the guy upstairs getting up at 4 a.m. since he starts work at 5, and the sound of the girls in the apartments to either side of mine watching TV till midnight, taking work calls all day and having friends over on the weekend nights. I know when I play music or have friends over, some of the sound leaks through the walls, so I never get upset about hearing my neighbors because it goes both ways. So when my boyfriend started coming over more often, he had complaints about the neighbors, which put me in an awkward place. He wanted to go speak to them or have me text them and I said no. For example, one of the early times he stayed over, we went to bed around 10. He wanted me to ask my neighbor to turn down her TV. I said she didn't have it that loud and she turns it off at midnight anyway. At 4 a.m, he got very irritated with my upstairs neighbor getting up and cooking breakfast. I said that he would be done by 5 because that's when his shift starts. At 7 a.m, he was still trying to sleep in and the neighbor on the other side had some work calls that he said he couldn't sleep through. I offered him earplugs and he said he couldn't sleep with them in either. He wanted me to ask her to quiet down. I would never be able to do that, you know. I would just chill, you know. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna chill here. And why is he being such a big bossy boy? He's not even the one living there. The person living there doesn't even mind. He's not living there, why does he mind, huh? He had similar comments every time he heard someone else in the building just living their life, especially if it was when he was in bed. I got frustrated with my boyfriend and told him, you know, you can't expect to date a hot young 22-year-old and not want to deal with a 22-year-old's living situation. I don't know if you realize, but this is normal apartment for someone my age. My neighbors are pretty great. Nobody's throwing loud parties on work nights. Nobody's having screaming fights. Nobody's having babies. The hot young part was in sarcastic air quotes because those were his words, not mine. He got irritated and asked why I was bringing age into it. And I said it's because he can't both want someone so young and also want someone with house kind of money. And he was being so out of touch with how normal people in their 20s live. He got really irritated with me bringing age into it, and even more annoyed when I'd respond to his neighbor complaints in the future with, okay boomer, or tell him that if he wanted me to have a rich person apartment, he could pay for it. Was I wrong for what I said to my boyfriend about my apartment? Oh, wait, if he's having such a problem, why doesn't he just invite her to his place? I really don't get the problem because the girl who's living in that apartment doesn't even care. Why does a visitor care about these kind of things? It's just like you're living in this apartment and then your friend comes over and complains about every single thing that you're fine about with that apartment, with that place, with your neighbors, you know? Like you're fine with everything, but then someone else isn't fine and that someone else doesn't even live with you. I don't get that. And I do agree with that girl. She's 22 years old. She's not gonna have the money to buy like a big house where you can't hear your neighbors stomping upstairs. You know what I mean? She's 22 years old. It makes sense that she's bringing age into it because if she was 30, then it makes sense that she was working all these years that she could afford a nice house kind of thing, right? But right now she's 22, so it does make sense that she's bringing age into it. If he's really irritated about their age gap, then don't date someone 13 years younger than you. There you go, problem solved. There's your solution. But no, I don't think what she said is wrong. Alright, moving on. So I started a new job recently. I work in a small studio. There are several others in the building. Think open plan office with sections assigned to each studio. The person I had an altercation with doesn't work for my studio, just for your information. I eat lunch at 1ish and most people eat at 12. I came down early to eat at 12. I made coffee and while at the counter noticed my Tupperware in the sink empty. I'd be pissed Imagine my surprise when I turned around and saw a man I didn't know sitting down at the table with my food on his plate. He had just stuck it in the microwave, acting rashly since I was mad. I sat down next to him and said, "Hey, that looks good. Mind if I try it?" Then before waiting for an answer, I yanked the plate away from him and snatched his fork out of his hand. He just blinked in shock, as did the other people there as I started eating. He then quite loudly asked what I thought I was doing, and I replied, this was actually much better when I first cooked it. It probably lost some flavor in the fridge. He caught on quickly that it was my food and went a little red. I then asked him where he got the gall to steal someone else's lunch, and then asked them what they were doing when they took it back. He stuttered out some nonsense about not knowing it was mine and replied, "Well, you knew it wasn't yours, right?" He just mumbled something like an apology, and I said that's no problem. It was nice he'd warmed it up for me at least, in an admittedly tone. And then he just got up and left, and the people just stared in silence. Two of the silent watchers, maybe his mates, I don't know, told me that I was rude to him and that there had been nicer ways to go about it. I told them to think how they would feel if someone ate their food before saying they should focus on their lunch and I'll focus on mine. Well, it's been a little awkward at lunch since, and I have the impression a few people are talking bad about me at work now. Maybe I could have been nicer, sure. I still don't think I was wrong, but tell me, was I wrong? I don't think they're wrong, but I wouldn't have the guts to do this. I'm a very non-confrontational person, that's for sure. I would just watch them eat it, honestly. I would just be like, I don't know, dude. I'm a scaredy cat, honestly. I really don't like confronting people. But I don't think they're wrong for doing what they did, honestly. Like, the only person who's wrong was the person who stole the freaking food. Why are you stealing someone else's food anyways, dude? And then you're acting like it's yours, and then someone's gonna take it from you and you're gonna be like, what are you doing? I do kind of want to be like this person though, because they sound so cool, you know? They're just like, this tastes so good. It tasted better yesterday when I cooked it. This is the person I am in my mind, but outside I'm just like, that's my food. Alright, moving on. My dad passed away and left me one of his last and favorite ship model. I had it on display in my living room, but for some reason I never actually mentioned it to my boyfriend of 6 months. Maybe because we don't live together and he doesn't visit often. The other day, he and his friends came over to my place to celebrate his birthday. They got drunk and started throwing the sofa's pillows at each other's. I told them to stop, then went into the kitchen to clean up. I then started hearing loud noises. I walked out the kitchen and saw my model ship in my boyfriend's hands. I rushed to get it, but he passed it on to his friend, and then his friend passed it on to the other friend. I started running around trying to catch it while yelling at them to stop. Then my boyfriend grabbed it again. I was so angry, I told him to hand it over, but he said I needed to kiss him first. I yelled at him and he tried to throw it to his friend. He tried to catch it, but it missed and hit the wall and broke. What did he do? Why were... I lost it. I kicked all of his friends out, and then I had a fight with him, telling him this was a sentimental item from dad, and demanded that he pay me $3,500 because this is how much it costs. He left, then called in the morning asking if I was serious about wanting him to pay $3,500, and I said I was dead serious. He started making excuses, saying he was drunk, and also I never told him about this ship and how important it was for me before, both monetarily and sentimentally, so that's on me. We had another fight, and then I hung up upon telling him I'm expecting the $3,500 and that I wasn't afraid to take the legal route if I have to. He kept texting asking me to let it go and saying it was cruel of me to threaten him with the law. He had his friends apologize, thinking this would be it, but I insisted that he pay me. I get that I might have got worked up over an item and treated my boyfriend badly, but to me it seemed like recklessness on his part. Was I wrong? Oh no, no way are you wrong for that. I would break up. He doesn't even sound sorry. I was drunk. It's not like I wanted to do it. It's not like I wanted to break a ship. It doesn't even sound like he wants to make it up to her, you know? I'd actually be so mad. I don't even think it's about the $3,500, honestly. I think it's just she wants to hold him accountable and see if he's gonna be responsible for his mistake. But he doesn't want to be. He's like, no, I was drunk. Why should I pay it back? Boy, if you don't pay it back, I swear. But honestly, the relationship is over at this point, isn't it? And it says the boyfriend is 37. Yo, you can't be acting like this at 37. You're almost 40 and you and your friends are like passing a freaking thing around like you guys are 4 years old or something. I'm gonna be staying single forever. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!